I make this masterclass. Hold on, let me make my face big because I feel like y'all can hear me when my face is bigger. If you ever been watched any of my classes, you know how I am. So I make this so maybe it can shed a little light or give you a little information on if foreclosures are right for you, if that's the path that you want to go in, because most people have no idea like how the foreclosure, the process works. Homeowners don't even know how the foreclosure process works, honestly, most of the time. So that's what this class is for. We're going to talk about each stage of the foreclosure process. We'll talk about how you can invest in each stage of the foreclosure process and being a real estate agent or an investor or just somebody who just want to have some little extra money and they want to retire on their beach house and we need some extra coins, right? So that's what this master class is for. It's for everybody, newbies, seasoned, veterans, everybody. Okay. So, yes, I'm happy you're here and I'll try to answer any questions. And if you've ever been in my master class before, at the end, I usually just open it up for all kinds of questions. If you have a question as we go through, I'll try to look and see. It depends on how many people we got in here. Okay. Now, over 100 people signed up for this masterclass, but I know how this works, right? You anticipate about half of the people coming and then the other half watching the replay. So, you guys, it's 7:04. I want to get started. I see Camille in the chat already with her questions. That's right, Camille. Get your questions out. You know what I mean? Um, I know one other thing. I try to do a little troubleshooting before I get started, a little housekeeping, right? I know when I get a room full of investors in a masterclass, y'all gonna want to network in my chat, or y'all gonna want to chat in the chat, and I can get distracted. Okay. First of all, I get distracted. So I really can't keep my eye on the chat. Second of all, if you just hold tight at the end, I will let you introduce, I will let you network. You can sell where you're from, what you want to buy, what you want to sell. I'll let you do all of that. Okay. Because I know how this works. When I get a room full of investors and hustlers in one spot. Okay. So I'll let you do that in at the end. Okay. So you guys, let's get started real quickly. How many of y'all, is this your first time? Is this anybody's first time in my master class? Anybody's first time? Um,
First time for me.
Yay, first time. First time where you can
Time
put
for me too.
cool. Welcome.
First time for
Likewise
John.
here.
I guess I should have said y'all put it in the chat. But yeah, great. I'm excited, you guys. And if you will, you watched on YouTube. Y'all, me and YouTube, I'm gonna get consistent. I'll do that. I'd love to see where you're from. Last question while I talk, while I introduce myself. Put in the chat, if you don't mind, where you're from. And y'all can see where everybody's from. Let me know where you're from. Put it in the chat. And we are going to get started. Come on, neighbor, Nina. Okay. See, I'm already distracted looking at the chat because every time I look over at the chat, I'm like, Ocala, Florida, y'all on the foreclosure list. So let me get started, you guys. I'm Ashley Pickens. I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee. If you watch YouTube, I'm going to do this intro right quick. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. I've been in real estate since 2006. So next year will be my 20th year in real estate. It'll be 20 years. So I've been a real estate agent. I've also been a real estate broker over an entire firm. But most of you know me as your auction mama. I am an auctioneer. I'm the one that says going once, going twice, sold at the courthouse. I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. So from here in Memphis all the way to like Nashville, there was like a hair. Nashville all the way to Mississippi. If you know Tennessee, we border like every single state in the United States. So I auction here. I've been doing that for probably the last 8 to 10 years. So I made this master class to share more about foreclosures so I can see where everybody is from here. So let's get started. We'll jump right into class tonight. And then if you have any questions, drop them in the chat for me, and I will answer them at the end of class. So can everybody see my screen? Yes, yes. I'm assuming, hold on, let me see. Thank you.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. Since nobody wanted to be on camera today but me, that's okay. That's okay. Y'all can just listen with your ears. Well, never mind. Okay, so let's jump in. Like I said, you guys, I've been in real estate for this will be my 20th year. And I started creating master classes and I started making videos when I became an auctioneer because I realized nobody knew anything about auctions, right? Like you hear about them, people would always say, look, I feel better when I'm talking, my face is in the screen. people would always say, well, if I asked about an auction, people would be like, look in the newspaper. Or I've heard that people auction off properties at the courthouse, right? But most people have no idea what property is up for auction, how much it costs, how do you pay for it. So that's how I started making videos on YouTube about the auction. And then it turned into people calling me because they were in foreclosure. And so then I started helping people in foreclosure, and it has just evolved into master classes. I have a mentorship. I make videos. I help homeowners who are in foreclosure. So it has just grown. So we're going to talk tonight about every single stage of foreclosure. So we're going to jump in real quick. I'm just going to start teaching. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I will try to look at the chat. No promises on the chat because I get distracted. Okay, so you guys, we're going to jump in and then I'll pull the slides up. If you've ever been in my masterclass before, you know I honestly don't need slides, right? I can talk to a brick wall and I'll be just fine. But I put the slides up too so y'all have some kind of visual representation, okay? So real quick, y'all gonna learn today, okay? So, foreclosure. We're talking foreclosure tonight, every single stage of foreclosure. So, let me explain this really quickly before we get into the slides. Foreclosure. There's three phases of foreclosure. If you've watched any of my videos, you know this. But three main phases of foreclosure. When you hear the word foreclosure, you just know you're thinking they didn't pay the mortgage and the bank took their house back. Boom. They went into foreclosure. Three phases though. The first phase of foreclosure, you guys, the homeowner usually gets behind on their mortgage about 3 months. Typically, 3 months. They get behind on their mortgage, and then the lender files that notice of sale or notice of default. That's the first phase. Second phase, the auction is scheduled. Cue your auction mama. Their auction is scheduled. In the third and final phase, the lender or the bank repossesses that property, also known as REO properties. Okay, those are the three phases that a house goes through once they go into the foreclosure process. Sometimes they make it out, sometimes they go through every single phase. Now, let's get back to the slides now that we've established that. So, let's get started. I won't put y'all's face in the camera. We'll just do my face. I already told you about me. Been in real estate for it'll be 20 years next month, in August next year. So I've already said I'm an auctioneer. I've auctioned off 500 homes. Now let's talk about it because when you watch the news, they'll say the interest rates have dropped a little bit. Buyers are coming back out to the market, depending on what you listen to. Other places will say, yeah, it's slow. People aren't buying. Now they're starting to come out with every single loan program that they can come out with because nobody is buying a house, right? So now I think the latest thing was now they're talking about a 50-year mortgage, right? No comment on a 50-year mortgage. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to pay for that house about 10 times if you have a 50-year mortgage. That's all I'm going to say. But, you know, when you start seeing these lenders and banks come out with all kinds of new loans and financings, it's because the market is probably slow. Okay. When you start seeing programs where you don't have to have a credit score, or we've got a loan, 100% loan for minorities if they move into this area, and we'll waive this and we'll pay for the appraisals and it's 100% financing, it's usually because they need some money, right? And banks and lenders are in business to make money. Let me get off my soapbox and back onto our master class, you guys, because y'all know I can go. So this is what's going on in October, you guys. The numbers just came out yesterday, right in time for this master class. So here are the latest numbers of what's going on in our housing market. So we had 36,766 properties had foreclosure filings in October. When I started this class, I said three phases. So that those 36,000 are somewhere in those three phases of foreclosure, okay? Foreclosure filings. Lenders started, that's the first phase, the foreclosure process on 25,129 properties in October, last month. Lenders repossessed, that's the third phase, when the property goes up for auction, doesn't sell, and the bank takes it back and it becomes a bank-owned property. Lenders repossessed 3,872 properties through foreclosure last month. Now, if you see your state, drop a little fire sign or a little house or whatever you want to drop in the chat. States that had the greatest number of REOs in October, you guys. You see your state, it's the normal culprits, except for maybe Pennsylvania. Florida had 243 REO properties. California had 336. Pennsylvania had 205. Illinois had 187. And our favorite state, Texas, had 358. At the end of this class, if y'all are still here and still awake and we have time, we'll go over that article. And that article tells all the states, all the cities, all the major cities with the greatest number of foreclosures for last month. So if we have time, if y'all remind me, we'll go over that. So I see Texas is on the list. It's been on the list for the past few years, honestly. Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, those are the cities that have been hit the hardest and will continue to be hit the hardest. So I always like to put this up here, a little snapshot of what our foreclosures are looking like and what they have looked like since COVID. And anybody who works in foreclosures or the distressed market, they'll tell you we have not really foreclosed on people since COVID. There are still people who have not paid their mortgage since COVID. And we're going on what, 5 years at this point with COVID? When people went into that moratorium, they just stopped, they didn't pay, and they just kept on not paying. So we get calls all the time of people who have not paid in 2, 3, 4 years on their mortgage right now. So you can see in 2009, that was before COVID, what our filings were looking like, right? And now you can see where we are. We still have not hit anywhere near our normal foreclosure numbers. Not yet, not at all, honestly. Let me ask any questions right here, because I don't know when I'll remember again. Any questions? We good? Okay, cool. So another little snapshot. In August, HUD puts out their report, their survey. In August, we had 4.9 million homeowners that were behind on their mortgage. We had 5.3 million renters behind in August. Now, you don't ever hear about this on the news or anything like that. Everything is great. We're all eating pink Starburst and jumping through sunflower fields in the real estate market. In September, we have 4.7 million homeowners behind and 5.3 million renters behind. Yeah, I know that number is got to be, I would say multiply by 2 or 3 on both of these numbers, honestly. I asked the other night on YouTube, where did people think that when it came to people being behind on their mortgage, how many millions of people did you think? And some people were like 2 million, 4 million, 6 million, 8 million. Y'all know I'm in the 10 million camp. I think we have about 10 million people who are behind on their mortgage, 10 million plus. We've got what, 10% of FHA loans are in default right now, about the same amount for veteran loans are in default right now. Y'all, and with people with these layoffs and everything that's going on, y'all, the numbers are just going to keep growing and growing. So if you add all those up, we have about 10 million, over 10 million people that have not paid for housing all year. And I would say have not paid for housing in the last 3 or 4 years. Honestly, the numbers that I see, and I'll share some examples with you as we go on. So why is this masterclass, right? Because a lot of you are interested in the distressed market, if you're an agent, if you're a homeowner, if you're an investor, or you're just thinking about investing, and you don't really hear about the distressed market, right? How do you invest on this side? If you know me, I only work on the distressed market. Of course, I've been in real estate almost 20 years. I love my first time home buyers. I love them. I love them. I pivoted. I only work on the distressed side. My my primary clients are investors. That's who I work with. My clients are distressed. And there are different types of distressed, right? Pre-foreclosures, y'all know that's what I work with. Short sale, REO, auction, absentee, heirship properties. When somebody passes away and leaves somebody a property, that's distressed. Tax lien, tax deed sales. So that's different. If you're an agent, y'all can do more than one thing. I'm telling you, because on the regular side of the market right now, it's a little rough over there from what I'm hearing. Now that I'm on the investment side, I act like we on totally different sides. It's a little rough over there on that retail side from what I've heard. So I'm completely over here on the investment side. So, just in case you didn't know, the different, lanes when it comes to the investment side. Any questions? Any questions? Am I missing anything in the chat or everybody all right? I'm just doing such a good job that y'all don't have any questions. Is that what it is? Yeah, is everybody nodding their head with the cameras off? I imagine everybody is nodding their head behind their cameras because their camera is off. So let's keep going, you guys. Hold on, you know I gotta have my little special effects. Ashley, really. If you know me, you know I like a little special effect, even though I can't remember how to do it. Oh well, you guys. Hold on. I can't remember how to do it anymore. It used to be so good. Okay, anyway, I have to make this visual so you can all understand this and make it easier for you to digest what I just said. So usually it's a little curtain, but it won't come down today, you guys. Okay. Anyway, let's go. Once upon a time, we're all going to meet Steve, you guys. There's Steve, his two kids, dog, and wife. And Steve's blood pressure is through the roof right now because Steve lost his job during tech layoffs and is struggling to pay his mortgage each month, right? Steve is really crying on the inside. Y'all see the smile, but it's really tears in the background. Steve is 3 to 6 months behind on his mortgage. So he is in pre foreclosure. That is the first, well, almost the first phase. He's on his way to the first phase, 3 to 6 months behind on his mortgage. They are calling him, asking him when he is going to pay. He's got letters, he's got all of that. And Steve is probably ignoring all of that. So, pre foreclosure, it's that initial stage in the foreclosure process when a homeowner falls behind on their mortgage payments. Okay. The homeowner still owns the property, right? But they probably about to be in default. Okay. The lender notifies the homeowner of this delinquency. And like I said, who still owns the house? Steve still owns the house during this phase. And I know you're like, Ashley, why are you asking us this? It'll make sense as we go on. So you can understand who owns the property at what phase of foreclosure. Okay. So Steve, like I said, he's 3 months behind on his mortgage and he just received that certified letter in the mail. Like I said, that first phase you get behind, that lender sends you that notice of default or that notice of sale. He just received that certified letter in the mail. Steve is now in foreclosure, right? He is in foreclosure. And here is, I always try to include mortgage statements that I see from people that I work with. Can y'all see when I said people are usually behind? Nobody has ever called me when they just got right, like they're about to be behind. Nobody has ever called me. When they call me, they're about a year or 2 years behind and they got an auction staring them in their face, right? So here's one that I have, and you see the total amount past due was $25,000. And let me tell you this while we're here. Well, I got you here. There comes a certain point, and if you work with people in foreclosure, you'll know this. There comes a certain point when a homeowner is in foreclosure that the lender will not take a partial payment anymore, right? They will want that entire past due amount in order to stop their foreclosure. So they either have to pay all of that or their house goes up for auction once they get to a certain point. They cannot pay that mortgage anymore and be like, well, I'm going to pay. Can I pay on it? A lot of times these lenders, especially Mr. Cooper, will not take a partial payment from you anymore. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody with me? I imagine y'all are nodding again behind your cameras, even though I can't see you nodding. So let's keep going. Am I missing any questions in the chat? No? Yes? Are there any questions in the chat that I'm missing? Let me see. Okay. No, no, no. Okay. Y'all are good. Boom. Oh, hold on. Did somebody just put something in there? Okay, we good. Thank you, Sharika. Thank you, guys. Y'all sure know how to make a girl feel good. So let's keep going. Here's another one. I try to include different ones. So this one, if you notice right here, you are 370 days delinquent on your mortgage, right? So that I'm just continuing to show you that a lot of people are very far past due. It's not 3 months. It's not, I just missed. It's 370 days and have not paid their mortgage. right? And it's a lot of people, I'm talking about, it's a lot of people who are in their house who have not paid in 2 and 3 years, still in their house right now. So, and one more, I'll show you one more. This one, you are 230 days delinquent on your loan. They got to pay $19,000 to reinstate it to get it out of foreclosure. So, just in case you didn't know what was going on my side of the world, this is what's going on my side of the world. Okay. So, how do we find pre foreclosures? For those of you, if you know, I have a mentorship. I work pre foreclosures. That means I work with homeowners. I reach out to the homeowners and I try to help them. I try to keep them from going up for auction. I try to help them stop that auction. If they want to keep their house, I help them keep it. If they want to sell it, I help them sell it. So I do work the pre-foreclosure side, the first phase of foreclosure. Now, let's talk about how we find these, right? A lot of times you can look at your public notices depending on where you live. You can Google wherever you live, whatever county you live in. I live in Shelby County public notices. I'm going to show you a couple different spots. So you can look up public notices. You can go to your um, possibly your county records and deeds office, and they'll tell you what sales are coming up. Trustee sales are coming up. But a lot of people look for those notices, and there's a couple of other sites that we can walk through that I can show you, like PropWire or foreclosure.com. Those are some other really good sites to find pre foreclosures. And some of you are like, well, Ashley, why? Right? Because I don't want to think that everybody on here is a real estate agent, because I know you're not. Why would I want to work pre foreclosures? Again, you're talking directly to the homeowner, right? So you can, and as we go through, you'll understand this more when we start talking about auctions and stuff. You and the homeowner can negotiate. You can help that homeowner if that's your thing, help them maybe keep their home, or if they want to sell it. If they sell their home before the foreclosure, they won't have that foreclosure on their credit, right? You can help them in a tough situation. You might be able to get a great deal on that house, and you can keep them from going into foreclosure. Okay, does that make sense? So a lot of people work this angle. Um, if they can keep you from going to auction, or if you can sell before you go to auction, it works for a lot of people. Does that make sense? Why people work this lane, the pre-foreclosure lane? Yes. So y'all just gonna make me talk to myself this whole masterclass.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
one girl from Texas would jump on here and say yes. That's fine. That's fine. You guys, it's a smaller class in here. We had a bunch of people register, but it's smaller. So y'all can talk to me. I didn't know how as big as it was going to be, and I didn't want everybody to be like hopping off a mute. But it's about the size of our mentorship. So if you have a question, you guys ask me. And I think a lot of y'all like that better as we go through if you have a question. So, any questions? No, no. Natalie, you got a question? Okay. I'm just doing so good that y'all don't have questions. Okay. Okay.
Are the home sellers pretty receptive and when you reach out to them when they're in this phase?
It just depends, right? A lot of it just depends. Now, keep in mind, a lot of other investors are calling. These are those people, when you see those we buy houses and we buy ugly houses, they're going after these people. So a lot of times, if you do talk to them, they've had 10 people already call them trying to buy their house or harass them. So it just depends. I always teach, like in the mentorship, lead with love. If you've ever watched me or any of my videos, my motto is lead with love, right? When we call, it's how can I help you? How can I assist you? Do you want to keep your house? Okay. Well, here are the assistant programs that you have where you live, right? You want to sell it? Okay, these are your options you have there. So it just depends. But like, y'all know, some of these people are getting hounded by investors trying to buy their house or intimidate them or bully them into selling their house. So it just depends. But definitely it's all in the approach, is what I would say for sure. Good question. Any other questions?
Well, would you recommend the calling versus the mail?
So I think whatever y'all know that I mail, right? Hold on, look at me. I have to put my sense. Since you got a question, finally, I was gonna stop share. So y'all know that I mail. Do I have a letter right here? I mail every week. I've been working pre-foreclosure since COVID for the last 5 years. So I mail every single week. I did have some envelopes right here. Hold on. I got them right here. Boom. So I mail every week. I send a letter because I feel like that's non-intrusive, right? It's nice. I, try to lead with love. I will call. I'll call them. I have some other marketing methods that I do to reach out to them. Um, I have these if y'all want to mail. I have letters. I have like a bundle of letters that you can get where, you pick which one sounds like you and then you mail it out. But make it personal. Um, I do mail. I use bright color envelopes. White envelopes look like bills, but I do mail every week because before I started cold calling, I didn't want anybody to curse me out, right? So I was like, if I send them a letter, they can choose whether or not they want to talk to me, and then they can call me, right?
Mm,
So I
okay.
think it just works. What I will say is, whatever you do, you have to do it consistently. If you think you're just going to mail out one bunch of letters and everybody is going to call you, that's not going to happen. Like, you have to, whatever you do, do it consistently for like 3 or 6 months, right? Mail consistently, call consistently, send a message by pigeon consistently, right? Whatever you do, you have to do it consistently for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with. Everybody does not like to cold call, right? Some people, we got people in the mentorship who door knock. Y'all know I live in Memphis, so
Ooh.
Ashley not door knocking, right? But there are people who live in safe cities and they door knock. So whatever works for you, as long as you do it consistently. Any other questions, you guys?
Right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for the question. So I don't feel
I
like I
have a question.
talk to
Um,
me.
how many mailers do you send out weekly, and like what's your um, conversion
So I mail.
approximately?
No, and I was going to tell you. So here in Shelby County, we auction every day in Memphis, right? I know in Texas and Georgia they auction once a month. So I'm constantly mail. So I mail at least twice a week because those notices come out every day. And like I tell people, if I play this right, my letter will hit when their foreclosure notice hits at the same time. They'll get it in the mail at the same day. And they'll be like, "You're like an angel from God. I just got this foreclosure letter and I got your letter." And I'll be like, "Look at that. I'm psychic." So I have to mail twice a week. But that's just how I am because I don't want to get behind and I want to mail every single person. I think it depends on you, right? So I mail, your question was, how many do I mail and what's the conversion rate? So I usually get at least 5 or 6 like buyers for sure each month, at least 5 or 6. Now I'll get phone calls back, and some people will, they don't want to sell, they just need assistance, or they, just have questions. And of course, some letters come back, but I mail at a larger scale than most people, right? If you are in foreclosure here in Memphis, Shelby County, or DeSoto County, Mississippi, you're gonna get a letter from me. Like, so I mail every single person in foreclosure. A lot of people will filter it by who's got equity, who's likely to, stuff like that. I mail every single person. So, yeah, I usually get about 5 or 6 every single month. Um, I've just crafted my letter down to a T. So, what else you asked? What did you ask me? Did I answer what you asked me? You asked me how
You
many,
did. You
okay.
did. But after we finish, I still want you to call me.
Oh, okay. Look, I'm like, okay. Did you ask me to call you? Okay. So
No, I didn't ask you to call me, but I told you about the deal.
Sheree from YouTube. Cherie,
Cherie.
Cherie, that's right, Cherie. You tell me because I said it wrong. Got you, got you. Okay, because I'm like, hold on, Cherie. You said the envelopes and the conversion. Okay, so yes. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions before we move on? Now, since I got y'all in here, it's about 20 of y'all in here. Do you want me to show you really quickly like a couple of sites where you can find pre-foreclosures where you live? Because I don't mind. The masterclass is just like a slides and guide, but I don't mind getting off to show you. Would y'all like to see where I like how to
Do
use?
you, do your
Yes.
thing. Do your thing.
Okay, cool. So y'all gonna let me just do, I'm just gonna teach like it's a mentorship or something tonight. So I love when I get to do this, but when it's a whole big class, I gotta stay on topic, right? But since it's just 22 of y'all, We can have class for real in here tonight. So let me show you. I use PropWire, which is a good site. It is absolutely free. If you are familiar with PropStream is $99. PropWire is free 99, free. So I'm going to show you. Can everybody still see my screen? Yes? Somebody say yes or no.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so PropWire, it is like a site where you can pull, and I can show you better than I can tell you, but you can filter it by, again, it is free. You just need to sign up, get your username, boom. It's 10 cents to skip trace, and we'll talk about that. Now, PropWire, you can come in here, you can put in an address, boom. Address, city, county, state, zip code, or APN. Y'all don't have to worry about APN. So, address, let's say you're somebody who drives for dollars. If you do not know what drive for dollars means, it's when a lot of people just starting out in real estate or wholesaling or investors, where you drive and you look for houses that look like they might be empty or grown up, distressed houses, grass high, boarded up, whatever. It looks like, y'all know what I mean, distressed, house in distress. You write their address down and then you reach out to them to see if they want to sell to you. My point for saying this is, if you drive for dollars, you can put the address in here and pull it up and skip trace them and get the homeowner's address, phone number, and call them. My point is, you can put addresses in here. You can put your city, your county, your state. So let's say we did Atlanta, Georgia, right? You have your homework, your first homework assignment class. I was like, Ashley, we ain't signed up for no homework. You got homework. Your first homework assignment is, if you choose to accept it, and I'm going to show you two different sites. PropWire, if you come on PropWire, I want you to put your zip code in. If you're on YouTube or any other, you know that I've given this assignment all the time. Put your zip code in here where you live, okay? And I'm about to show you. Let's make it interesting. Let's do 90210, right? Beverly Hills. 90210, California. So I want you to put your own zip code in here. And then we're going to filter it right here where it says lead types. And you can filter it by abandoned, absentee, bargain, cash buyers, high equity, liens. We are looking for the first phase, which is pre-foreclosures, right? So we did 90210 zip code, pre-foreclosures, and it pulled 10 results for us. Boom. Everybody see the 10 results? Now, here on PropWire, you can put in city, county. I'll go back and show that. Property types, single family, condos, multifamily. You can filter it by whatever. If you're looking for duplexes, if you're looking for mobile homes, if you're looking for condos, you can filter it by that, okay? And you can filter it by price and everything else. So we've got 10 pre-foreclosures in 90210, and you can click on them. And boom, look at her for 2.9 million in pre-foreclosure. Get behind on that payment and see if you feel it's not her for the whole rest of the year. So in pre-foreclosure, 2.9 million. It tells you a little bit about when they bought it. If you scroll down, it'll probably tell you when it's going up for foreclosure. It'll tell you the history of it. Boom. It'll tell you the owner. You could click right here and skip trace for 10 cents, and it will give you the phone numbers and email address of the homeowner. And then that way you can reach out to them, or you can, well, you don't have to skip trace to send a letter because you just first name and address. But if you want to call them or if you want to text them, skip trace and you get their phone number and you could reach out to them and see if you can be of some assistance to them. But lead with love is what I always tell y'all. Lead with love. Do not harass these people, intimidate them. They're going through a hard enough time as it is. They don't need you calling them and bullying them. Okay, so lead with love. So that's how PropWire looks, and it's 10 houses here. So my point is, you can search anywhere. So again, I did 90210. You can do a whole city. You can do Atlanta. And then we're going to move on because I can get stuck here and we're going to be here all night. And y'all came for a good time and not a long time, right? Right. So Atlanta, it's still pre-foreclosures. It pulled 285 and you can go through it. And sometimes PropWire will show a picture. Sometimes it doesn't. They upgraded it or downgraded it. And then that's how you can search where you live. So your homework assignment is to put in your zip code, filter it by pre-foreclosures, and see if any of your neighbors are in foreclosure. That's how you can find pre-foreclosures. Everybody with me? Yes. Yes. I imagine that y'all are nodding your head. Foreclosure.com is another site. You can filter it by pre-foreclosure, short sales, wherever you live. Miami foreclosures, and it'll pull for you. Shout out to foreclosure.com. I did an interview with them. I don't know if y'all saw it, foreclosure.com. But you can go wherever you live, and you can also pull pre-foreclosures. Okay? Everybody understand that? I see y'all talking in the chat. Saw it. Sean, I didn't know you was in here. Hey, Sean. I especially texting people with Sue that you know. Got you. That's right. Some places you can't call, right? They just changed the rule where you can't call. So boom, everybody.
So foreclosures.com, that's a free site as well?
Foreclosure.com, I think they give you a 7-day free trial, and then you can look it up and see. But foreclosure.com, do I have a link? I don't know. I have to look and see if I got an affiliate link for y'all. PropWire is free, though. It is free for sure. Just sign up, email,
Okay.
password, and go in there and look. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? And I'm going to jump back into slides. So that's how you can find pre-foreclosures. And so when I say public notices, a lot of times they're in your smaller publications, smaller papers, right? They put them in a paper. A lot of times they have to file that public notice with the county record and deeds. And so then they'll post it for everybody. So this is Nashville. Nashville is the Tennessee Ledger. If I go under public notices, it will show, well, I don't have tomorrow's out yet. It has last Friday's. And public notices, if my computer comes on, here we go. So this is last Friday. It'll show the date of the first notice, their auction date, their address, and their name. So these foreclosures went out last week in Nashville. Boom. So you would do the same thing like I showed you on PropWire. You could put their address in there, find out who they are, reach out to them, offer your assistance. Remember, you can put an address, you can filter by zip, city, county, state. Boom. So that's another way. Y'all with me? Does that make sense? Anybody lost in the sauce? No? Okay. All right. Any questions that I'm missing? Okay, I'm just that good that y'all don't have any questions. Okay. But like I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. We're back to the slides. Can everybody see the slides again? We're back into the class. Yes? Okay. Thank you. So,
Yes, we can see your slides.
thank you. Thank you, Abriel. So like I said, how to find public notices, boom. I showed you a couple ways to find them. Here's what they are. I already showed you that again. Told you I really don't need slides. Boom. I already showed you that I send letters. Boom. I don't even need the slides. I can just talk and teach as we go. But I do send letters, bright colored envelopes. I do not send white letters because they look like bills. All of my letters are exactly the same. They say the same thing. They do not say, hey, Mr. Johnson, or hi, Mrs. Smith. They say hello because it's the same letter, right? I print out the same one about 50 times. What I do is I hand address these envelopes though. I do take my time and hand address all the envelopes because they have a better open rate. If someone sees a hand addressed envelope, they'll open it. And we about to be in the Christmas holidays, so I'm going to use my red and green envelopes so they look like Christmas cards. Boom. So that is just a tip for you. I have a bundle of pre-foreclosure letters, airship letters, vacant property letters if you need some ideas on what to say when you reach out. But lead with love. If you are an agent and you're working with somebody who is in foreclosure, a lot of times y'all don't know because they don't tell you. But if you know they're in foreclosure, if you have an idea that they might be in foreclosure, talk directly to that lender. Let them know that you are going to help them sell their house. Do not try to outrun an auction. Okay, don't try to do it. We are not in the market to outrun an auction. The market has slowed down. It's a buyer's market in a lot of places. And I would hate for you to put a property on the market and it go up for auction, right? And you got a buyer who did an inspection and an appraisal and it go up for auction. I have auctioned off properties that were under contract. Okay. They didn't talk to the bank and let them know they were trying to sell it. So the bank went ahead with that auction and sold it. So if you're an agent, talk to that lender, talk to them, tell your client like, hey, let's call on three-way and let's let them know that we're selling it. And most lenders will work with you, right? If you're trying to put on the market, they might say, send me the MLS. When, assistant agent, boom, how much time do you need? And a lot of banks will try to work with you. Well, at least they were trying to work with you. I don't know what they're going to do next year, but they have been trying to work with people. Okay. Does that make sense to all my agents and everybody out here? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Any question? If you got a question, let me know. So we're moving on, class, to the next phase in this foreclosure train. I don't know why my picture won't stay there, but it's okay. So Steve has 30 days to pay that past due amount, like I showed you on those mortgage statements. You got to pay that past due amount in full, or his home will go up for auction. Steve tried real hard. You see, he looking stressed out. Now they don't look happy outside on the grass anymore. Steve tried but was unable to pay his mortgage, and his home went up for auction. Cue your auction mama. That is me, right? Depending on where you live, you could live in a judicial state or non-judicial state. I live in Memphis. We are a non-judicial city state. Tennessee, um, Florida, places like that, judicial. That means it can take a while for that foreclosure to happen. Y'all can go to court, y'all can contest it. It can take months and months. Again, I live in Tennessee, non-judicial state. They file that notice of sale or notice of default, and they will take your house in 30 days here in Tennessee. So that's why I advise people to get on the phone, talk to their lender. Do not just sit and wait and not do anything. So Steve's home went up for auction. Let's keep going. Let's learn about that. There's your auction mama. I had an auction today, but it was canceled. So maybe somebody got in touch with them because it was a good auction. That house was worth like 230,000. Opening bid was like 72. I was like, oh, somebody needs to call them. So maybe somebody called them because they canceled it this morning. So what is an auction, you guys? Auctions are public events announced through legal notices, often conducted at the courthouse or online, right? Interested bidders gather to place bids on the properties with the highest bidder securing the purchase rights. Who owns the house right here? This is a trick question. Anybody want to try to answer? Who owns the house when it goes to the
Homeowner.
Right, right. So all the way up until when I say going once, going twice, sold. Boom. When I say sold, that's the house is in foreclosure. All the way up until then, that homeowner still owns it. This morning, like I said, my auction got canceled. That homeowner could have filed bankruptcy this morning and canceled that auction. The homeowner still owns the house. So a lot of times when y'all see properties like on auction.com, houses that are up for auction, the homeowner still owns it, you guys, all the way up until the auction date. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes, no, yes. Anybody want to say yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. I'm on auction.com right now, right? All these properties are up for auction. This is Georgia. So they auction the first Tuesday of the month. So they go auction December 2nd, right? All of these are up for auction. They're on the auction.com website. So they're up for auction. Can you reach out to these homeowners that have an auction set for December 2nd?
Yes.
What you say? Did you say yes?
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's another place where you can find pre-foreclosures or foreclosures, even if they have an auction date. A lot of times I feel like when you see auction on a property, that scares people because you're like, it's up for auction. I can't call them. Now the bank owns it. The bank does not own it until it sells at auction, till I say going once, going twice, sold, either to the highest bidder or it reverts back to the bank if nobody buys it. But all the way up until that point, you can reach out to that homeowner and try to help them. Okay. So these people do not have an auction until December 2nd. So you could call all of them and see if they would like, if you can offer your assistance. Okay. Do not let an auction date scare you from reaching out. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes. I imagine that y'all are nodding y'all's heads. That's why I went on
Yes.
auction.com. So boom, you could put these
Yeah, makes
addresses.
sense.
Cool. I'm glad. Say good. You could put these addresses in prop wire, look at them, skip trace them, and reach out to them because they got an auction date. Boom. Okay. Let's go back to where we were back to class. I just want to make sure y'all understood. Y'all said you understood, but I want to make sure you understood. Okay. So auctions. Who owns the house? That homeowner owns it until I say going once, going twice, sold. After I say sold, it's either going to the highest bidder, which is, whoever's at the auction who gets it, or if it does not sell, it reverts back to the bank and becomes an REO property. We will talk about that. So here's a property that went up for auction at the beginning of the month, actually. Opening bid was 182. It sold for 266, and it looks like it's worth 458. Was that a good deal, you guys? Deal or no deal? What do y'all think? They got it for 266. It's worth 458.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Everybody.
deal.
Definitely a deal.
Cool. And she looks nice too, you know what I mean? It looks like, if them the recent pictures of it. So that's went up for auction earlier this month. Now, are all deals like this? No. A lot of properties we're seeing now up for auction were just purchased in the last 3-4 years. So real quick auction lesson, you guys. Really quick lesson. The opening bid at the auction is the loan balance on the house. The opening bid is the loan balance. Okay. So if somebody just bought a house 2-3 years ago, have they paid anything off that balance? No. I'm going to pretend y'all are saying no. So that opening bid is going to be real high, right? And depending on where you live, that opening bid might even be more than the house is worth right now since the market has cooled off. So a lot of houses are going back to the bank right now because that opening bid is too high. But that one was a good little deal right there. Now let's talk about auctions for y'all who are interested in auctions. So, opportunities for home buyers and investors. Foreclosure auctions offer investors the chance to acquire properties at potentially discounted prices, right? Now, it depends, you guys. You might get a discounted property, but you've got to do your due diligence. Here's another one right here. Look at this. Opening bid was 277. It sold for 496 at the auction. Opening bid 227. Sold for 496, and then the investor turned around and then sold it for 642. Was that a good deal? What do y'all think? Deal, no deal?
Yes, deal.
Deal. They got it for 496 and turned around and sold it for 642. So but there are some things to keep in mind at the auction. So, real quickly on this too. Opportunities for agents. You can assist. Now, I'll do trustee sales at the courthouse. You're not going to get commission from me at the courthouse. Now, there are sites like auction.com, Hubzu, Zone that will pay a buyer's agent commission, right? If you sign up and help your client. So a lot of agents wonder if they can get paid from that. Yes, if you sign up, depending on the platform, those online auctions, but me at the courthouse, you're not getting a commission from me, right? So here's another one up for auction, 1.6 million. Now, this is on auction.com site. See, they do offer a broker co-op available for 1.5% or 1,500 minimum commission is available. Somebody is not on mute. So you just remember that if you're an agent, it's possible for you to get a commission if you're helping a homeowner. And boom, that's auction.com site. Just some little information. Register for the property 24 hours. You identify yourself as the agent, and yeah, you can get a small commission. Here's another one up for auction. It's some nice ones going up for auction. This one had a lake in the background. Super nice properties going up for auction. Again, a lot of these people just bought in the last couple of years. And I guess with layoffs and jobs and just people hoping that the interest rates were going to go down and they didn't go down, just struggling to pay. Here's another one. Again, opening bid is 1.1. They got it listed for 1.3. They need to go and drop that price a little bit. See, what did I say? The opening bid is the loan balance. That's what they owe the bank. But I guess they're probably trying to make some money too. Price cut 90,000. But when you're trying to when you're trying to beat an auction, you just gonna have to take what you get. Oatmeal is better than no meal. You know what I mean? There's another one. Big and small. If you don't pay your mortgage, they gonna call. I don't know. I was trying to think of something that rhymes. That didn't really rhyme. But y'all get the point. Get behind on one payment, and it'll be hard to catch up, honestly. So look at this deal, you guys. Look at this. Opening bid was $214,000. 200, and it sold for 1.2 million in San Francisco because they bought it for 850,000 in 2000. Somebody should have called them. Somebody should have called them. Their loan balance was 215,000. They should have just sold the house instead of letting it go for foreclosure. You know what I mean? Sometimes you see deals and you're like, why didn't you just sell it? Why didn't you just sell it? And lost it at auction.
Didn't it have equity in the house?
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, they had plenty of equity if it got all the way bid up to 1.2 million. The opening, they had it since 2000. So they had paid it down plenty in San Francisco.
And don't
So
they get the excess money?
yeah,
Anything
so
over there?
yeah, hopefully they knew to call and get that excess money. Hopefully they knew to call. You know what I mean? Good thing to say, Sean. Um, I always say at the end of my videos, if your home goes up for auction, don't forget to request your excess funds. So homeowners, like this deal, the opening bid was $214,000. It got bid up to 1.2 million. That homeowner is due that money. Once the bank clears that debt of 214,000, that homeowner is entitled to that excess funds. So hopefully they knew to call because you know the bank is not going to call you and tell you to come get your coins. You just got to know to call them. So they might have hopefully they had a good check waiting on them if they knew to call.
I have a
So
question.
let's talk about some sites where to find auctions. And here's some if you want to write them down or looking for auctions. Auction.com. I showed you auction.com, Realty Track, Bid for Assets, WilliamsAuction.com, 10X, which I think is LoopNet now. I think they've just all combined 10X now. But these are some good auction websites. We will talk about the risks that come with buying auctions, period. So there are some sites. If you're thinking commercial, like they have commercial auctions. If you're looking for a hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, you can buy commercial, mobile home parks, restaurants, hotels. They always have like Olive Gardens and all kinds of stuff are up for sale. Um, a lot of times on these commercial sites, you can find apartment buildings and condos and things like that on the commercial sites as well. So here are a couple of them. CREXI is a good site too. That's a good site for commercial. If you're looking for agriculture and land, if you just want to get away from ChatGPT and get off the grid, landwatch.com, if you want to grow your own food, you know what I mean? Just let me know. I'll come buy some eggs from you. Landwatch.com, landandfarm.com, farmersnational.com, if you want to have your own farm, you know what I mean? UnitedCountry.com. These are some good like agricultural land sites if you're looking for land. If you're just looking for some land because they're not making any more of it. So you can go bid on land. And it's a whole bunch of acres. Like you can buy from 5 to 105 acres on these sites. So when it comes to auction, some things you need to remember. So at the auction, a lot of people, they're always like, Ashley, once they know I work at the auction, they're like, Ashley, I want to come see you at the auction. I'm going to buy a foreclosure. And in reality, you really don't want to come see me at the auction, right? You really don't. You have to have cash. Let's see if y'all going to answer these questions for me, if y'all going to talk to me for a second. I always ask this question, and I'll ask y'all. When it comes to the auction, I'm watching the chat. I'm going to drop it in the chat. How many of y'all would buy a house that you cannot see the inside of? Yes or no? That you cannot see the inside of. Thank you, Camille. Big and small, they take them all. They sure will. Yes or no? Would you buy a house that you cannot see the inside of? John says yes. Natalie, Camille say no. Nope, nope, nope. Yes, yes. Okay. So, would you buy a house you can't see the inside of? Would you buy a house that you can't see the inside of that you have to pay cash for in full? In full, you have to have all of it. If it's $500,000, you have to have all of the cash right there at the end of the auction. And you cannot see the inside of that house. What y'all thinking? Yes, no, still no? Absolutely not. You have to have all cash. You cannot see the inside of the house. We still no. And people still live in it. Remember Steve? Steve from my story? Steve's still in his house with his wife and 2 kids. Steve is still in there. So you buying a house sight unseen. You have to pay all cash for it. And if people live in it, you have to evict them. And you got to do your own title search. Because if you buy the wrong lien, your feelings going to be hurt for the rest of the year. Okay, so I think that eliminated a whole bunch of people. So when people say they want to come see me at the auction, I'm like, do you really want to come see me at the auction, or do you just want like a cheaper property? Right? Because there is some risk involved with the auction. I had some people call me earlier this week. They was watching me on YouTube and they reached out and they were like, we want your help. We're bidding on a house. And I said, okay, send me the house. I look up the house, right? The guy just bought it last year. What did I tell y'all? The opening bid is the loan balance. The homeowner just bought it last year for $600,000. I'm knowing the opening bid gonna be $600,000. Like you're gonna be right there. So the email also said we are first time home buyers. We want to go to the auction. This is the house we found. So of course I call him back. I'm like, so I don't think you was really watching my videos. I said, so you know that opening bid is going to be like $600,000. And he was like, oh, well, if it's gonna be 600,000, we could just go look at some regular houses. I was like, right. And you know that homeowner's still gonna live in there, right? And you're not getting keys. You're a first-time home buyer buying your first house, and you're probably going to have to evict that man that's in there. So you probably won't be able to even move in until about January, February. And he was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, the auction is probably not going to be it for y'all. And if you're about to spend $600,000, we can find you a nice house that you can go look inside of and actually get keys to it and all that kind of stuff. So he was like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah, thank you. So would I recommend the auction for first-time home buyers or people just starting out to invest? No, I would not. There's another route that I would say go. So everybody said no anyway, except for Sean. Sean started off with a yes, and then his yes quickly fizzled on out, Sean. So deeds and refunds come in the mail when you go to the auction. You give me your cash. I say going once, going twice, sold. You give me your money, certified check. It does not have to be cash in your bag or your suitcase or under your mattress. It's a cashier's check. Okay. I don't have deeds. I don't have refunds. Okay. Deeds come in the mail. Refunds come in the mail. So if you win the house for $80,000 and you only have one cashier's check for $100,000, your $20,000 is coming in the mail. I cannot go to my trunk and give you $20,000. So you have to wait on that and you wait on the deed, right? I don't have keys when you go to the auction. You better get you a Lowe's crowbar or you get your locksmith and you go out there and you rekey your house. If people live in it, you can offer them cash for keys and hopefully they will move, right? You don't have to talk to Steve and his wife and his 2 kids and tell them that you just bought their house at the auction and ask them when they can move. And maybe if you offer them some money, they might move. If they don't move, you got to take them to court and have them evicted. So just keep those things in mind when you go to the auction. The auction is not for everybody. And you make those cashier's checks payable to yourself. So if you win the property, you can just turn it over, endorse it, give it to the auctioneer. If you do not win the property, you can take your little check right on back to the bank and put it right on back in your bank without a problem. Makes sense to everybody. Everybody with me? Any questions? As we move on to the third and final phase of foreclosure. Any questions? Do banks take homes for HELOCs paid off? Do banks take homes? Camille, talk to me.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I was asking, like, if somebody like has a paid off home and then they go into the HELOC or something like that, and then they fall into financial trouble and can't like afford to pay it. So do banks repossess homes for those reasons?
For HELOCs. Okay, so good question, Camille. Now I'm gonna have to explain something to y'all. So when you go to the auction, right? If you go to the auction, let me make this clear for everybody. When you go to the auction, you only purchase first liens. First liens on a property. What is a first lien? That's that primary mortgage that you get when you first buy your house. It's the big mortgage. You hold a sign and you say, I love my realtor, and they give you keys. That big, your primary mortgage. That's the first lien mortgage. Another one, taxes, right? These are all entities that can foreclose on you and take your house. They can foreclose and get possession of your house. If you buy this lien, you can get possession of that property at the auction. So if you buy somebody's primary mortgage at the auction, you can get possession. If taxes, because a lot of people know tax sales, tax deeds, you do a tax sale, you can get possession of that house. HOA, the one everybody hate. If HOA, they can foreclose on you and you can take possession of that house if HOA auctions off your lien, that foreclosure. They can foreclose on you. What are liens that you do not want to buy at the auction? HELOCs. So, like she was asking, I know Camille's like, answer that. Get to my question. So, let me explain to you. A lot of people get a primary mortgage, right? The big primary mortgage where you buy a house. Boom. After a while, so everybody understands how this works. After a while, you say, I want to fix up my kitchen. And you take out HELOC is a home equity line of credit. You borrow some equity from your house and fix up your kitchen. Let's say you take $40,000 out, right? $40,000, you fix up your kitchen, boom. You have a primary mortgage payment and you have a HELOC payment. Well, I don't know if y'all knew this, right? It's two separate payments that you usually pay. Your primary mortgage, it's fixed, FHA, whatever you have. HELOC, this one is usually adjustable, right? So a lot of people, what I've seen is when times get tough, they're going to pay their primary mortgage. And when times get tough, they're going to say, this one got to wait. And this one will. They will foreclose on you, right? They will put your house up for auction. But when you go to the auction, you're not buying a HELOC. This will not give you ownership of that property because this primary mortgage is still sitting out there. And I had a lady call me and she was like, I'm current on my mortgage. She's like, it's my HELOC that I got behind on that they're foreclosing. I was like, ooh, I hope the guys know not to buy that at auction, right? So they can foreclose. They can foreclose, like auction off that lien, but you don't want to buy this at the auction. You do not want to buy a HELOC. You will not get ownership to the property. Camille, I don't know if that made sense. Do banks take homes for HELOCs paid off? They'll auction it off.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, you buy primary liens, the primary mortgage, taxes, and HOA. You don't buy nothing else at the auction, or you're gonna be upset for the rest of the year. Okay, so let's keep going. We're on the third and final phase of foreclosure, you guys. Look at us, we're moving right along. Any questions up until this point? Any questions? I'm just doing so good that y'all don't have any questions. Okay, if you say so. So here's Steve. He's looking still stressed out, right? Steve has 30 days to pay the past due amount or his home will go up for auction. Steve tried but was unable to pay his mortgage and his home went up for auction, right? But, au contraire, mon frere, it did not sell because Steve just bought his house 2 years ago and his opening bid was too high. It did not sell. Steve's home reverted back to the bank, right? Opening bid was too high. No, none of the bidders wanted it. So it ended up reverting back to the bank. And Steve's home is now a what class?
REO.
An REO property. That's right. Real estate owned by the bank. The third and final phase of foreclosure, right? Lender repossesses that property. So REO properties are those that have completed the foreclosure process without being sold at auction. The lender, who owns the house now, you guys, I just told y'all. Who owns the house? Anybody?
The lender.
There we go. Thank you, somebody. Thank you. Anybody. So I just said the lender, and then I say who owned the house. But yeah, the bank, the lender, they own the house. Now, when I say going once, going twice, sold, boom, ownership has changed to the bank. The lender becomes the owner of the property. Okay. So let's talk about two differences real quick. Auction, homes sold through a public auction to the highest bidder. REO, properties that have failed to sell at auction and went back to the bank or the mortgage lender. Okay. Here's one that I'm telling you, big and small. What you say, Camille? What was the rhyme? Big and small, they'll all fall. It's true. If you don't pay that mortgage, they go all fall. You know what I'm saying. So here's one: opened a bid, did not sell, and went back to the bank. A lot of people can find their vacation house, their second houses, their main house at from like an REO property. And we're gonna see a lot of properties going back to the bank. We're seeing a ton of them down there in Austin. Don't worry, April, I ain't gonna call on you. In Texas, everywhere. I know they're not selling here in Tennessee either. The opening bids are just too high. They're going back to the bank and they're gonna come on back out as an REO. Keep in mind, Steve can file bankruptcy at any time. As I'm walking up the steps to the courthouse, I have gotten phone calls to say the homeowner just filed bankruptcy, gone back to the house. And I say, okay, they can file bankruptcy and cancel that auction, right? That's still Steve's house until after I say sold. So REOs, you negotiate with the bank, right? Auctions, you can't negotiate with me, period. Auctions, you're bidding against others. So REOs is where a lot of y'all, I think, should jump in at if you're thinking about investing in foreclosures. If you don't feel like talking to homeowners, skip tracing, cold calling, negotiating with a homeowner. If you don't want to go to the auction and spend your cash and buy a house with people living in it, REOs are a good place to start, right? To get in. So, REOs, you can negotiate with the bank. Again, you cannot negotiate with me at the auction. Once I set the highest bid, well, once I set the opening bid, that's what it is, and you have to bid over it, right? But I know sometimes, depending on where you live, REOs can be a little competitive because it can be on the MLS or it can be on Zillow, but you can negotiate. Auctions, right? No interior access. Steve and his wife and kids still live in that house, right? And they are not going to let you in because you want to bid on it at the auction, right? REOs, you can get an inspection. You can go in, you can call the agent. I will show you some sites because I know you're all like, Ashley, where do I find them? You can use traditional financing, you guys. FHA, conventional 203K, VA, hard money, soft money, private money, all the money, whatever you want to, you can use that with REO properties. The only, well, they are sold as is, but I was going to say the difference between, let's say, the pre-foreclosure homeowner is now the owner is the bank. So you're negotiating with the bank instead of Mr. Johnson, is what I was going to say. You can go do an inspection. You can bring your home inspector in there, go through that whole house with your home inspector, right? You get an appraisal done. You can use your traditional financing, FHA, right? You put down 3.5%, 5%, 10%, get an appraisal, put down your earnest money, exactly like when you buy your typical home. Again, auctions, I need cash when you come see me. Certified funds. With REO properties, you can negotiate and you can use traditional financing with REO properties, right? Any questions? I'll just keep going. Any questions? And I see a question pop up in the chat.
Yeah, I have a
Huh.
quick question.
Right.
What happens if people are living in the house though?
Where? What phase are you with me on REOs? REO?
Yes, REOs. Yes. I found the property.
So the bank, the good thing, I'm telling you, REOs. So when I say going once, going twice, sold, boom, reverts back to the bank. The bank gonna take care of all that for you. The bank's gonna get those people out the house. They're gonna evict them. Cue
Good.
all the agents that want to do REO properties. They're gonna evict them. They're gonna make sure that title is clear. They're gonna winterize it. They'll probably trash it out. Boom. They're gonna handle all of that for you. So then when the bank puts it on the market, now you can get in there, and because nobody lives in there and it's just like your typical property. It's probably going to need repairs, right? They're going to trash it out, but if they haven't painted, they might still have their rooster wallpaper in the kitchen. You know, the bathroom might be green, the sink might still have the green granite, but you won't have any homeowners in there, is when you buy from the bank. Make
Great.
sense?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. So, home buyers, investors, you might find opportunity on that REO side because what? You can negotiate. You can't negotiate with the bank. A lot of time banks will give preferences to owner occupied property, not owner occupied. Yes, owner occupant. So if you're just a home buyer or a nonprofit organization, a lot of times they'll do a first look where owner occupants and nonprofits get to bid first. And then after 30 days, they'll open it up to investors. So, any questions right there? Real estate agents. I said any questions and I just jumped right on in. I didn't even give y'all a chance. I know you got to jump in when I'm talking. I'm sorry. Um, Realtors specializing in REOs. Y'all know I have just taken on the adventure of becoming an REO agent and doing BPOs. Y'all, my BPO this morning burned down. I got there this morning. That was assigned to me. And I got there and the neighbor said it caught on fire yesterday morning. So I'm learning, you guys. I'm learning because y'all know if you didn't know, my goal is to be involved in every phase of foreclosure. When these foreclosures come, of course, I'm in the camp of the foreclosures are coming. They are coming. We got so many layoffs. We got so many houses that have homeowners have not paid in the last 5 years. They're coming. I auction. So, of course, we talk to foreclosure trustees and attorneys. So, everybody's preparing for this foreclosure wave to come, right? So, I'm trying to make sure I'm in position in all the phases, right? So I can capitalize on this. So realtors, of course, you can be REO listing agents, right? That's an opportunity for agents to get involved on the distress side, right? So these sites are for agents who are interested in doing listing for banks and asset management companies. Radian, you can sign up and do BPOs, broker price opinion. I got one I need to work on right now. BPOs, REOs, all the O's. Here are some sites: Radiant, ServiceLink, ResNet, Equator. Keep in mind, I've heard there's a couple scams going around where people will call you and tell you to pay $500 and they'll send you REO listings or something. Y'all, don't do that, right? Make sure it's a legit company. Now, some of these sites you do have to pay. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. You do have to pay for some of these sites. Get on them and they want you to upgrade to the platinum plan and all that kind of stuff. But just be careful, right? There's plenty of groups on Facebook and LinkedIn that you can join, especially Facebook, like REO groups and BPO groups. And if somebody contacts you, you can put it in the group and be like, is this a scam? And then people will tell you, but here are some sites that you can sign up with to start doing BPOs. Y'all know I got certified 2 months ago. I went through Bubba Mills certification class. So because I want to do clearly BPOs and the end game is listing properties for the bank. That is the end game for me. The end game is retiring in Florida in a beach house, but y'all know what I mean. The game before the end game.
Do
Any
you have to be licensed
to
for
do
BPO?
for BPOs and to do be and list REOs. My mind is going blank. But there's also things that you don't have to be licensed for. Like you can be a field inspector. Field inspectors don't have to be licensed, and it's kind of similar to BPOs. You can sign up for that. Um, there's other opportunities. I think I got a slide on here. Boom, I do. Because people are like, what else can when foreclosures come, there's so many opportunities that open up for people, right? Think about if a bunch of houses go back to the banks will need people to trash them out, right? The banks will need people to clean them out, property preservation, landscaping, cleaners, all kinds of things. Fannie Mae, this is a good site if you're a vendor, if you have any of those skills that I just said, right? Sign up, sign your company up, start a company and sign it up, right? Trash outs, clean outs, property preservation. That means you go and winterize the property, fix any of the things that's needed inside of it, and the bank will pay you. You know what I mean? So there's opportunities, even if you don't want to invest in properties or if you don't want to list them, if you're not a real estate agent, if you're not licensed, is what I'm saying. It's opportunities everywhere, is what I'm saying. So check out this site. You got to register, but that's just something to think about. You know what I mean? Get your coin.
Ashley, who is Bubba? You said Bubba Mills? Is
Bubba
that what you
Mills.
said?
I
Yeah.
know, right? And then we keep calling his name like it's like Brad Bubba. Let me show you his site. I used to laugh about it. I'm like, Bubba using his nickname like it's professional, but everybody call him Bubba. Um,
Okay.
Let me show you his site. Bubba Mills. Bubba Mills. It was a great class, and he is known in the industry. He has the pool of all pools. That's why I went through his class. There's auction.com. He usually hosts a class every couple of months. There he is. Look, right big and bold. Bubba Mills. And so he went to his next class January 6th through 8th. It looks like he's not having another one until And it's 3 days. You have to be live. You got to have your camera on. So your girl had to cancel some auctions so I could be in class, but it was important for me. So I think he teaches a BPO class and an REO class. So it's 4 hours and he gonna teach you. You gonna learn. And then it's a quiz at the end of it. It's a little test at the end of it, and you get a certification. He puts you on his map with all his asset managers. And so when they call him and they need an agent in Atlanta, he's like, I got an agent that's certified in Atlanta, and then he'll put you on. He'll put you on.
What's
So
the cost of the class?
it is, shoot, what was it, $5.99? Um,
$5.99.
I think it is, right? And that one, hold on, look, let me just click on registration and we'll find out what it is. Click to register. Oh, I think it was $5.99. Y'all who was taking Avril, how much is it? Wasn't it $5.99?
It's 6.99.
Is it $6.99?
Yep,
699. Okay.
yeah, it's almost $700.
There it
Yes,
is.
699. Okay, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, there it is. So he looks like he's having one at the beginning of the year. And yeah, I mean,
January 6th. Okay. All
yeah,
right, thank you.
absolutely. So if you're an agent and you're thinking about, I just encourage you to learn everything that you can learn, right? I encourage you to learn everything that you can learn on this side. And he does help you. He lets you know what these asset managers, I refer back to my little binder every day. I get a BPO. So yeah, there he is, Bubba. That is his name. That is what we calling him. Bubba with the big B. That's what I call him. So there it
Mhm.
is. So
Good deal.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hold on, where were we? I think we almost finished, y'all. I think we're almost finished, and then y'all can go to bed, and I can go to bed. Um, so that's Fannie Mae if you're property preservation, things like that. Here's another property that's up for auction. Like I said, y'all, this last auction, earlier this month, Georgia and Texas, it was so many properties that were just bought in the last 2 years. It was a bunch that were just bought last year. None of them sold because, like I said, the opening bid was too high. But just to see the number of properties that were just bought last year in foreclosure now and up for auction, it's, I don't know, it's crazy, crazy. And with layoffs and everything coming, it's just going to get worse and worse. That's why I'm trying to position myself now. That's why I'm trying to help y'all get in position if you just listen to me a little bit. So, because it's coming, it is absolutely coming. Here's another property up for auction. Opening, I mean, big and small. A lot of people are like, it's only hood houses. No, it's not. I mean, it's the big mansions going into auction, going into foreclosure, especially when like a lot of these tech jobs are letting go. I had a client who he said his whole team was let go. He works out of San Francisco. And he said everybody on the team probably make about 500,000 a year. Like tech AI people, whole department was let go. I was like, ooh wee, I hope they got some savings because goodness. And every time I see people get let go, I'm like, ooh wee, I hope they didn't just buy a house. So here are some REO websites if you are interested in buying bank foreclosures, properties where you can negotiate, you can use financing, you can go inside the property. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Truist all have their own um, REO sites. I'll go walk you through one site real quick, but I wanted to make sure you um, got these sites down. Fannie Mae, HomePath, HUD Home Store, and HomeSteps.com. Really good sites for REO properties. Again, it's just like your typical home buying process. There's a listing agent. You can use your own agent and have them reach out to that listing agent and get you in, schedule an appointment, go walk through, take your contractor. You send your contract over and negotiate with the bank. You know what I mean? It's just like your typical home buying process, right? So here are some other REO sites. A lot of times on auction.com, you can find REO sites on auction.com, REO properties. Here's another one. Y'all big and small, they all can fall if you don't pay your mortgage. It doesn't rhyme, but y'all know where I'm going with it. So here's auction.com. You can filter it by bank owned or by foreclosure, right? And then you can see which one you want. Foreclosure is the auction, bank owned is bank owned, right? Things to remember, stay in your budget. If you're going to the auction, definitely stay in your budget. Do not let that atmosphere of the auction get you excited and you pay more. Okay, stay in your budget. If you're buying a house REO or otherwise, stay in your budget. Make sure you can afford it comfortably and not barely. Okay, or your house gonna be up for auction. You know what I mean? So make sure you making the right decisions, right? So look, we are coming to the end of this. So I always try to give you a couple things to do. If you're go to an auction, you guys. If you're an investor, you don't even have to be an investor. If you're thinking about being an investor, go to an auction. I think sometimes when you're around other investors and in that environment, it motivates you to be like, I can do this, right? Even if you have to start small. If you don't have any houses, right? Or you only have one house. Being in that environment with people buying houses and look at money and just those big investors, you'll be like, I can do this, right? So go. The auction is free. Go walk in there. You don't have to pay anything. Just don't bid if you don't have any money. But go in there and see, right? You can
When
meet
is your next one?
my next auction.
Uh-huh.
What is today? Today, Thursday. Mine was canceled this morning. I probably have one next week. You can come. Look, y'all can come. Y'all can come. You are in Memphis, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll let you know when my next one is. I'm always at the courthouse. Well, mostly at the courthouse. Yeah, come on. It's open to the public, and that's why I tell people it is open to the public. If you are thinking about bidding
Can't
at the
make it.
auction, go to the auction before don't let the first time you go to the auction be the first time, right? If you're knowing you're thinking about bidding at the auction, go ahead of time so you can see how many people are there, how quickly it gets bid up, who the auctioneer is, right? You can start figuring out how it works. Don't let the first time be the first time, is all I'm saying, Figure out where you got to park it. So start running numbers. I already gave y'all an assignment if you choose to accept it on PropWire. And if you don't look in PropWire, you can look on auction.com and just put in I don't know if you can put your zip code in auction.com, but you can put your city in where you live in auction.com and filter it and see who might be in foreclosure on your street. No wonder Mr. Johnson grass is so high. He probably is stressed out about his mortgage, right? He might be in foreclosure. And so practice running numbers, that kind of stuff, looking at houses, seeing things like that. You know what I mean? Just get in act as if, you know what I mean? Act as if.
Do you do DeSoto as well?
I do. I am in DeSoto. I auctioned Shelby and DeSoto and
Okay.
all the little rural. That's where I was supposed to be this morning in DeSoto, and it canceled on me. Yep. All the little rural counties all through here in Tennessee and Mississippi. Yep. Um, I need to change this, you guys. I have over 600 videos on YouTube. I just got the alert that I have 600. I've been busy, but you can go in there and watch some videos. You know what I mean? I feel like every day, I know I do this. I know a lot of people in the mentorship, everybody, every day, right? We just try to do something towards the goal, whatever that goal is. If it's an investor or a builder or just being financially free, do something every day. It could be read an article, read a book, listen to a podcast, do something every day towards your goal, right? That's what I tell them in the mentorship. I see y'all in here. Y'all better bring your wins and your challenges next week. But do something to move the needle towards the goal. I'm either mailing a letter, I'm calling somebody, I'm doing something to get towards the goal. You see, I'm doing BPOs and everything right now. So do that. Y'all can go watch the videos. I teach you about auctions. What's coming up? This is probably gonna be one of my last things. I don't know if we're gonna have anything in December because my birthday's in December. My birthday's next month. So next, what's coming up is we got this 2-day workshop foreclosure fast track challenge. It starts on Saturday. It's Saturday and Sunday. I know a bunch of y'all have already signed up for it. Saturday and Sunday. Y'all gonna spend your weekend with me, 2 hours, 7 to 9 p.m. like this course. And day one, we are talking pre-foreclosures, how to pull these lists, how to run your marketing, texting when you get on the phone, scripts with homeowners, bank conversations, letters. Boom, I'm even going to give you my letters. You get the letters when you come to the workshop, so you know what to send out. My whole point of this is 2026 will be here before we know it, right? And I would hate for y'all to be just trying to get ready or trying to get in position, or I'm trying to figure it out. Go into 2026 with a game plan, like hitting the ground running, right? If foreclosure were to come right now, a lot of people will be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Look, I'm trying to make sure y'all are ready for when they come, right? So, and then day two, we're talking REOs and BPOs, all the O's. And so we'll talk a list. I'm gonna give you foreclosure trustees for the pre-foreclosures, everything. We're gonna talk about everything. I'm even gonna get you my little mailers and door knockers and everything. So that is day two. I'm trying to prepare you for 2026. And then again, I don't know what I'm doing in December as far as master classes. I know we will not have a mentorship in December. The current mentorship right now, we're on week 3. Somebody reached out to me about mentorship. Y'all can come. We're in week 3 right now. We're probably gonna go for 7 weeks. Um, y'all can come in now if you want to, and you just have to watch the replays from the last couple of weeks or whatever, and then jump in with us on Wednesdays at 7:30. But this is the foreclosure fast track challenge. You're gonna have assignments, you're gonna have work to do, and we're meeting Saturday and Sunday, right? So just to get you ready, no guessing, no trying to put things together. We're going to hit the ground running in 2026. A lot of people made money in 2008 when the foreclosures came, right? I was 21. I'm telling on myself on how old I was. I had my license. I did flip a property, but a lot of people got rich in 2008. They ran up that foreclosure wave. So I'm trying to make sure we all in position when it comes again. So that's what we're doing this weekend. Um, Yep. You don't want to be watching from the sidelines. So, where do you find me? I'm on Instagram, you guys. Your Agent Ashley on Instagram, YouTube, Your Agent Ashley. And if you need to email me, guess what the email is? YourAgentAshley@gmail.com. And guess what, guys? That's it. That's all I got for you tonight. That is how do you find oh, did y'all want to see like HUD Home Store, like the website for REO properties, or y'all over me at this point?
I want to
Let's
see.
Are there any
see. I want to
websites
see.
for, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. She said she want to see, and you said, are there any websites for talk to me? I'm listening.
I was gonna ask, are there any websites for like repair handyman?
Property preservation.
Yeah, for help with the repairs, like handyman, repairmen's.
So that's like you're
Mhm.
gonna be property preservation kind of thing, because that's what they would do, like try to get you in there. And so Fannie Mae, that one that I was showing you, a lot of them have.
Mhm.
So Fannie Mae, that Procure One, VRM Properties, that's the veteran site, VRM Properties. Um, Acknowledge. A guy in our mentorship said he got a property preservation property. How many times I'm gonna say property? A property
Mhm.
preservation assignment from VRM Properties. So I'm on here, VRM Properties. Scroll to the bottom, and I think it might be the Vendy program. And
Mhm.
you can go on here and maybe not Vendy. Hold on. Property title. You got to look around. Vendy program, VRMS. But there's a place where you can sign up to be a vendor for, because he got a property like, and you go in there and you trash it out. And if they need painting and laying floors and that kind of stuff, you get to, be a vendor for the banks. Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
No, I'm talking about like, are there a website for repairs? Like if I got a house and need some repairman or handyman.
oh, I done led you down a whole nother road. I got you out here fixing the houses. I don't know what's the site like TaskRabbit. Isn't that a
I
site?
don't know. Everybody's not secure, somebody
Look,
that's
Angie's List.
Angela or
Yeah.
Handyman. There's one that I just saw, Handyman. Look, I don't know. I like my contractor. Um, what do y'all know some other sites? Look, I done made you be the handyman. I'm like, sign up here. You
that's
like, no, I need one.
Try Yelp.com or something.
Thumbtack.
Thumbtack, that's another
I
one. Yelp.
I I just hired somebody this week on Thumbtack and their background checked and it was great. It was a good experience.
There you go. Look at our little community coming together.
Hmm?
Oh, I'm trying to make you be the handyman. You like it? No, Ashley. I need something fixed in my house. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make you go out there and fix it. I'm sorry.
Is
That's
there a
okay.
short sale training?
Who teach short sales? Avriel, who teach short sales? Look, I know Avriel. Don't start calling me. What's the guy's name? Martinez something. He's a big famous, not big famous, but Bubba talked about him. I saw him on YouTube. Um, I want to say his last name is like Martinez. or something.
Hold on, let me find this information. I'll drop it in the chat. Hold on just a second.
Okay, thank you. She'll drop it in the chat for you. Real quick, you guys. So we were talking about REO bank properties. Here's VRM sites. It's a VA bank owned site. You do not have to be a veteran to bid on these properties. But see, here's properties. I'm just going to click on one. You put in where you live, and this is like HUD, home store, home path, home steps, all the same way. Address, city, state, wherever you live, and see what they have available. So they'll have, let's say we'll look at this one in Hollister, California. And so you can put in your information to contact the listing agent. It tells you about the house. Once you contact the listing agent, they'll either take you out there for you to see it. If you have your own agent, you schedule an appointment. It's just like going to look at a regular house, right? Only the bank owns it at this point. And look at this one. I mean, this one, because remember, when the bank owns it, it's as is. What you see is what you get. But like I said, it's a whole bunch of people losing their house that just bought last year. So it's some nice looking houses, brand new houses, like just built from the ground up, and they lost it in a year. So you can get a brand new house from the bank a lot of times. Look at that one. I mean, that one looks brand new. You know what I mean? So that's VRM properties. Let's look at HUD Home Store. So HUD Home Store, you come down here, you click on, we'll look at Texas. Of course, we'll look at Texas. Let's see what we got working. So new listing. So let's see if we can find one. So this one sits for, it's in Sugarland. That's a good part of Texas. And you can scroll down. It tells you a little bit about $912 HOA. It's 203K eligible. That's that loan they give you to buy it and the repairs, 203K. Gives you the addendums. It tells you who the listing broker is, Mary. You can call Mary and Mary will show it to you, or you can get your own agent to show it to you. And then it'll tell you, a lot of times it'll tell you what you need, like how to submit an offer. Definitely your typical, hold on, HomePath usually has. HomePath even offers down payment assistance. They give you down payment assistance to get the house. Let me see, make an online offer. A lot of times they have the little making an offer. And it'll tell you pre-qualification letter, just like buying a typical house with your proof of funds, pre-qual letter, mortgage loan, earnest money. You go through a title company, you close like at a title company, just like normal. It's exact. The bank is just the owner. You guys, when it comes to these, and you negotiate, it is the bank, you guys. Do not be afraid to negotiate with the bank, is all I'm saying. Because they will not be afraid to charge you some interest, or to charge you an overdraft fee, or to everything that they do. So here's some price reduced. You know what I mean? Just keep in mind, what you see is what you get, right? They're not going to do any repairs. So when you make your offer, make sure you got your repairs in there, right? If it's going to cost $10,000 to repaint the house, make sure your offer is $10,000 less. You know what I mean? Make sure you calculate your repairs in there, okay? See, here's another one. And it just tells you offers and incentives, first time home buyers. If you take the class, they give you probably some down payment money, up to $500 appraisal credit. They'll pay some of your closing costs. See, this is the route that most people want to go when they say, Ashley, I want a foreclosure. You do not want to come see me at the auction. Most people do not. And so you get a nice house. A lot of them might have some built-in equity. You see the ceiling kind of falling right there. They're not going to fix that. So your handyman got to come out there, get your task rabbit, no thumbtack. Tell them to come out here. How much is it going to cost to fix that? Make sure that's in your offer. You know what I mean? Deduct it from your offer. So there you go. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to show you. Like, go in here, find properties, reach out to the listing agent, have your agent reach out to them, and then submit your offer. Negotiate. Negotiate. It's the end of the year. A lot of times these banks want to move these properties off their books, right? So negotiate. Everybody with me? Any questions? Any?
Ashley, is there a fee? Okay, the class on what's that, 15th and 16th? That's what, Saturday and Sunday? Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. Is there a fee for that, or where do I go?
Here, I'm dropping the link in the chat. I still have it. I never put it back to the regular price. I was gonna, what else was I supposed to do? There's that.
Okay.
There it is. I was gonna make y'all a coupon code, but I didn't have time to make y'all a coupon code. But I left it at the early bird special. And you get the replays, you get all of the replays, and all the documents that come with it. So if you can't make Saturday or Sunday, you can watch the replay. We're meeting 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It'll probably go over that because I can talk. Saturday and Sunday. So be prepared to have homework assignments. Somebody asked me about the mentorship. I'm going to drop the mentorship link in there. But again, we're on week 3, you guys. We are on week 3. We will probably go for 7 weeks. Knowing me, we'll go 7 weeks. You can watch the replays if you want to, and catch up because the replays. And then when we start again in January, you can already be in the mentorship when we start again. I gotta find the link to that though, you guys. But any other questions while I'm looking for that? Any other questions about BPOs? I know somebody had a BPO question. You got an REO question, or are y'all just ready to go to bed at this point? Are we just over it and ready to go to bed? Any questions? The floor is now open for questions, you guys.
Okay, on the side, 90, okay, 2 day. Sure, it's okay.
Okay, so I dropped everything in the chat. The mentorship, like I said, it started already. It's a discounted price though. If you want to come, you can just catch up, jump in at week 3 and then go watch the replays. And then you'll already be in it for when we start back in January. Yes, this recording will be available. Paul, reach out to me. What is the Fannie Mae property preservation website? It's the Procure One. Hold on. It's the Procure One. So nobody felt like they needed to come on camera tonight, except for Sean. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Procure One. It's Fannie Mae's site. Let's see if I can find it. I have a login on it, but I'm trying to find it where y'all can contracting opportunities. But it's Fannie Mae. You got to log in there, create your user ID and all that kind of stuff. Suppliers. There you go. Fannie Mae works with suppliers. Boom, here it is. FannieMae.com/suppliers. And go in there and it'll tell you exactly what they're looking for, what they need. New suppliers, contracting opportunities. They'll show you like everything that they need help with and how you can sign up and help with it. I'm trying to find the chat and I'll drop that in the chat. Boom. Fannie Mae, I dropped it in the chat, Jamie, for you. Boom. Everybody happy? You are welcome. Any other questions, or is everybody ready to go to bed? Or is everybody ready to go to sleep? Or is that just me? Thanks, you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you learned
Thank you.
more about the foreclosure
Yeah.
than you already learned, you know?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All the links.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now y'all go buy a whole bunch of foreclosures so we can all go live on the beach. So
Thank you so much.
Great stuff like always, Ashley. Appreciate you.
absolutely. I'm here if you need me. Your agent Ashley at
Thank you
Gmail.
very much, Ashley. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
See you on
Absolutely.
Saturday.
Yes, I'll see y'all on Saturday. Have a good night, you guys.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Good
All right,
night.
thank you.
Now you got John, don't try to get on camera now.
No, hey, real quick, I tried to jump in there. There's one question I got. Yeah, you liked how I did that, right? Real quick, you mentioned the field inspector. Is there a certification for that? Or and if so, is there a course? Where do I can find some more information about that? I am a contractor, handyman.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find more information in that realm.
Yeah, I think field inspectors, because those are definitely like BPO people, like you're just not licensed. So I wonder if I saw some of them on LinkedIn, like field inspector. I'm trying to see where else. Averill, you know how else you can be a field inspector? Averill, like the assistant that didn't.
Because
Your bracket is
I'm
good.
retired military, so I'm real connected with the veterans group there. And with that VRM, if you buy a property, can you still transfer the low rate of the loan if it's transferable?
I'm sure, like if it's assumable.
If it's assumable, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's been a long day for me.
No, I get it. Look, it's 8:45, and I don't know where y'all are. Some of y'all might be on the East Coast. Um,
Me?
you on the East Coast? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sean. You in Connecticut, aren't you? In Connecticut,
Yeah.
where there's no foreclosures because everybody has money in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so your field inspector, Avriel, you know anything about field inspectors? Kia not on here, so she can't tell us.
Yeah, I'm a
Yes. So,
field inspector
so
too.
most of the field inspectors, it's just like almost like the BPOs, right? So your Fannie Mae, your Freddie, you would actually have to connect with one of them, and then they can actually put you in contact because they have like a what they call a heat map, and they put you into this heat map, and you get pulled out into this big source where people start pulling you in to actually do inspections for them. Now you can also get certified for the, I think it's the what is it? I think they call it the I I need to look up the certification, but there is a certification where you can get more than a regular field
Look,
inspector.
there it is. Look, field service vendors. Here's VRM. I'm on the
Yeah,
site.
there it is.
There's
Yes.
one of them at least, and it says join our network. I'm gonna drop this in the chat for you too.
Okay, I just took a picture of it, so I
Yeah,
saw it.
I'm on VRMCO, still on the veteran site. You know what I mean? And it says
Mhm.
join our network and property preservation field services vendor. Um, so go there and click on it.
Uh,
It's
And
called it's called a disaster, John. It's called a disaster preparation field inspector. So you can get a certification through Freddie for that, and they
Okay,
will put you in a pool, and they can give you offers that way also.
okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
absolutely. And John, sign up for all this stuff. You and Abriel, everybody who a veteran, y'all get preferential treatment. So you use all the things that you can use. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's why when I retired out of the Army here in Texas, Texas is such. You could do a whole webinar on just veterans advantages of veterans in Texas, and
Yes.
and take advantage of it.
John, where you at? What part of Texas you in?
Waco,
That's all. That's what I was just about to ask him. Where are you at?
Waco,
Oh, John, we need to connect.
we
I got a
do.
lot of REOs. You say you're a contractor. I got a lot of REOs that need repairs. So I
Okay,
need your contact information, John.
and I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll just give you my number real fast, and just text me.
John, you can drop it in the chat if you want
I
to.
can do that too. Okay,
Look at
hold
our
on.
community. Avriel's in Austin, and Avriel is like, baby, she is REO queen down there. So in Austin, Texas. So y'all connect. And Avriel's a veteran. So yes, y'all.
Good.
Oh, look at our
Hey,
look.
I just put my number on it. And then it's a El Paso. It's where I retired out of Fort Hood or Fort Bliss. Sorry. So I still keep that number there. However, plus I am connected with there's a trade school called TSTC, and I'm really involved with the veterans group there. Helping veterans, employment and stuff. It's a volunteer thing I do, and so there's a lot of veterans that are coming out of the maintenance programs that we can get you aligned with. So there's a
Yes.
lot to it.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much, John.
No,
I got your number. I'm texting you right now.
okay. Unfortunately, I'm out of town this weekend. I had so, but
Y'all
anyway,
can connect. Yes, y'all can
and I'll be
connect.
back next week. So, but yeah, I definitely. You know what? If you don't mind me calling you Saturday, I got to drive all the way back to El Paso, so I've got a 9 hour drive, so I can call you and talk to you for a bit.
Absolutely.
I
Okay.
love that because y'all know Texas is number one. That's what I was going to tell y'all. And then we're going to sleep. I promise. Y'all know once I get to talking, I don't know how to be quiet. Now John want to be on his camera, but that's okay, John.
No, no, no. Hey, you don't want to see this ugly mug.
See, thank you guys. See how better it get once y'all start talking to me and looking. So
Yeah.
let me show you real quick, you guys, and then I promise y'all can go to sleep. The new foreclosure numbers just came out the other day, and y'all leading the way. I said I might need to move to Texas and work y'all's foreclosure market real quick for
And
the
we have beaches in Texas. Not you can move there instead of
That's
Florida.
right. I'm looking for my beach house for $22.17. So, okay, so foreclosure numbers real quick. If y'all got to go to sleep, go to sleep. So foreclosure numbers just came out 2 days ago for last month, and we had 36,000 properties in foreclosure. Highest overall foreclosure rates: Florida, South Carolina, Illinois, Delaware, and Nevada. We have among metro areas with populations of 1 million or more, Tampa had the highest. We have Hillsborough County. We have Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, Florida, Riverside, California, and Cleveland. Starts, I knew y'all was going to be on the list. Foreclosure starts highest in Florida, Texas, and California. States that the greatest number of foreclosure starts: Florida, 4,136. Texas had 3,080 last month alone. California, 2,685. Illinois had 1,252. And New York had 1,165. If we had to pinpoint some cities, we got Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's the first time they've been on the list. Indianapolis, Louisville, Kentucky. No, hold on. Those metropolitans with a population greater saw the greatest year-over-year decline. That's decline, because I'm like, hold on, these not on the list. Decline. Did they have the highest? Those are all declines. I guess the number, y'all's number's so high, they don't even want to share them. They just decline. So lenders repossessed, highest REOs: Texas, 358, California, Florida, Pennsylvania. Metropolitan greater than 1 million that saw the greatest number of REOs: Chicago, Atlanta finally hit the list this month. Atlanta, New York City, Houston, Texas, and Riverside, California. I knew Atlanta was going to get on the list before the end of the year. There it is. But that just came out for that. So that was for October. I knew y'all was on the list. Texas is going to be on the list. So y'all start working that market and get in position. Get in position.
Okay. Hey, before we all jump off of here, I want to say the videos, I've been watching them for a while, and you're doing a great job. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for watching,
No,
you guys.
no.
I'll try to be more consistent, but I'm trying to keep up with it and work the markets myself, you guys. You know what I mean? I'm trying to teach y'all and be involved and teach you what I'm learning. So
And
thank you.
it's all about positioning yourself now, because you could just feel it in the air that it's gonna something big is right across the horizon.
Yeah.
And, where we just get be a duck now, work your butt off, and put yourself in the right position. We're gonna have it made.
Absolutely. That's the plan. We all just locked in. That's what I tell everybody. Just lock in. Y'all just keep your head down, get it. That's why I'm like, learn everything you can learn. Start making these relationships now. If you're going to start a property preservation, start it. If you're going to start doing BPOs, field inspectors, start making those relationships now. Because when they hit, everybody and their mama going to do foreclosures. I do foreclosures. I'm a foreclosure. So get in there now and learn it. So when it hit, you're already well connected. And we're going to sleep. But this is young hook. I'm like, we're going to sleep, but then I pull something else up. But here's Warren Tracker. Y'all know I love this site. And it shows all the people who have been laid off in 2025 across the country. So California, this is 2025. California, 89,000 people. Texas, 22,000 people. And when you see layoffs coming, and they only, they said this is the lowest unemployment will be. The next few years, unemployment is just going to keep rising and rising in the next few years. So get in position. Warren Tracker. When you see layoffs, you're going to see foreclosures. So everybody, that's all I got. Y'all know I can talk all day and all night, but I got to cut off. So
Okay, thank you, Ashley. I just signed up for the class for the weekend, so I see you then.
I'll see y'all in class.
Thank you.
Fortunately, I'm on the road this weekend, so I cannot do it.
Don't worry. I'll have another one. Y'all know I'll have another one or another masterclass. So no worries.
Okay.
Here, if you need me, email me. And y'all have a good night, you guys. Thanks.
Ashley,
Talk to me.
You know what I'm gonna say, right?
Ashley, look at your email. Call me, Ashley. I know this.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Okay. And thank you. You did a great job.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you.